These are the reasons you ejaculate too early. In this video, I'm going to be covering some of the most common reasons why men ejaculate too early. If you've watched my work for any length of time, you know how important it is for a man to be able to last long and control his ejaculation. So if you can identify the reasons why you are ejaculating too early, then you can fix them. But before I do that, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Doing so greatly helps the channel. I want to get this information out there to as many people as possible, and the only way I can do that is if you like these videos, share them, and subscribe to the channel. Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Anthony, a certified sexologist, Tantra Counselor, NLP Practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over 10 years, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex of their lives. Okay, the number one common reason why men ejaculate too early is they've literally trained themselves to. What do I mean by that? Well, it starts very early on when you're young. Most young boys, when they discover their penis and decide that masturbating feels good, they are doing it in secret. They've probably been told that it's bad or wrong, or their palms will grow hair, or whatever other nonsense they've been told. And so they are finding ways to get it done very quickly. So they're maybe hiding in their bedroom, maybe in the bathroom, the only place they can get a little privacy, and their goal is to do it as quickly as possible. The problem with that is that it does train your body to ejaculate too quickly. Another common reason that you train yourself incorrectly is porn use. This is kind of an interesting one. I've had guests on my show who are experts. I've had several guests on my show who are experts in porn use and some of the issues associated with that. And I've also coached a lot of clients on this, and I see this pattern over and over and over again. In fact, I said this recently in a coaching call to somebody, and they went, "Yep, that's exactly how I do it." So what am I talking about? Well, most men, when they are using porn, they'll spend whoever knows how long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe longer, just scrolling through all the different clips available online and looking for the thing that they actually want to watch. But then when it comes time to watch the clip, they watch it for less than 5 minutes, masturbate, and they're done. Porn is, of course, highly stimulating, generally overstimulating. They also may not have a lot of time, or they may not want their partner to know that they're actually watching porn, and so they do everything they can to make it quick. Again, the problem with this is that it is training you to ejaculate quickly. That's absolutely the opposite of what you actually want to be doing. Okay, the number two reason that men ejaculate too early is weak pelvic floor muscles. This is an interesting one. You know, Celine used to work hands-on with a lot of men, helping them solve these issues, and she could often tell simply by palpating somebody's perineum. So she would say that one of three things would happen when she would palpate, which simply means to touch, to feel. She would take two fingers and just press in the perineum. She would say that either her fingers would just sink in and there'd be no resistance, which would tell her that the pelvic floor muscles were very weak, underused, not a lot of muscle tone there. Or she would poke and it would be hard as a rock, like boom, just like hitting a wall. And that would tell her that the muscles were holding a lot of tension. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the muscles are strong. It just means that they're holding a lot of tension. And if you know from watching any of her videos or any of ours or any of mine, tension equals ejaculation. So you don't want to have a lot of tension in those muscles. Or when she would push in there, there would be a firm resistance but a little suppleness. And that would tell her that the muscles have tone, that they're strong, but that they're not holding too much tension. So The goal is exactly that. The goal is to have strong pelvic floor muscles that you can control individually from the other muscles surrounding it. So in other words, when you squeeze those pelvic floor muscles, those are the only muscles that should be contracting, not your anus, not your glutes, not your lower abs, or any of the other muscles that men tend to squeeze all at the same time. Remember that tension equals ejaculation, so you do not want to be creating excess tension. So it's really important to develop those muscles and develop the control in those muscles so that you can squeeze when you need to squeeze, such as when you're getting close to your ejaculation and you want to stop that, but without over squeezing or without holding chronic tension. The third reason why men ejaculate too early is they can't control their arousal level. Now, this is something that's happening up here in the mind. I see this happen a lot with clients. They get overly excited about the fact that they are having sex or going to have sex or engaged in some sort of sex act. It is critically important as a man that you learn how to control your arousal level. In the Power and Mastery program and in the coaching programs for men, I go over the arousal scale, teach them how to use that in their training practices, but also when they're having sex. It is a critical piece to being able to control your ejaculation. You have to be able to manage your arousal level. There is a sweet spot, and you want to stay in that sweet spot. You don't want to be not aroused enough to have an erection, and you don't want to be too aroused that you are bordering on ejaculation all the time. Now, obviously, there's physical stimulation that contributes to the arousal, but there's also a lot of mental stimulation that contributes to arousal. And that is one of the things I see a lot of men having difficulty with. They build this up in their head and they allow themselves to get overly excited, and then boom, they ejaculate. So you need to find ways to learn how to control that arousal. Okay, the number 4 reason why men ejaculate too early is poor technique. In other words, they don't really know how to penetrate and have sex in a way that feels good for her, but also doesn't push him over the edge. So what am I talking about? Well, a lot of times men will penetrate and then they're off to the races, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And it's like, whoa, slow down a little bit. Not only is slowing down good for you, she probably doesn't want you to go that fast, that quickly either, unless you've done a really good job with the foreplay and she's really ready to go. That's one example. Another example may be using positions that are highly stimulating for you as a man, rather than choosing positions that are less stimulating for you and more stimulating for her. So there are a lot of little technique things, how you actually make love, how you actually use your penis to penetrate, that can make a big difference in whether or not you're being overloaded with sensation or whether or not you are in your sweet spot. And if you combine those techniques with controlling your arousal level, with having strong and developed pelvic floor muscles, with training yourself properly, all of those things together will make a huge difference in how long you can last. And finally, the number 5 reason why men ejaculate too early is they haven't learned to separate their orgasm from their ejaculation. Yes, indeed, they are 2 separate things. This is something that still, even in 2024, a lot of men simply don't realize. They think they're the same thing because they generally occur at the same time. When you have an orgasm, you ejaculate. And the timing of that is such, they're so close together that they feel like they're the same event. But they are actually 2 separate events that are occurring in the body. And you can learn to separate those out, and you can become a multi-orgasmic man where you can have multiple orgasms without actually ejaculating. This is real. It can be done. It is a skill that you can master. If you can do that, then you can have orgasm after orgasm, move that sexual energy through your body without ejaculating. If you don't ejaculate, you don't lose your erection. There's no refractory period. You can go pretty much as long as you want until you choose when and if you have an ejaculation. That is a critical skill. Now, I don't have enough time in this video to cover how to do all of those things. That is a lot of information. That is in the Power and Mastery program, and it is also in my coaching programs. Links for both of those are in the description. So now that you know why it is that you are ejaculating too early, it's time to take the steps and do something about it. I hope you found this video helpful, and please check out the links in the description. Also, check out some of the other videos on this channel. There are over 700 videos to help you be better at sex and help you have better relationships. And then, of course, listen to the Love Lab podcast, which you can do right here on the YouTube channel or any major podcast platform. And lastly, go to my website, kevinandceline.com, and look for the Work With Me tab and figure out how you can work with me.